Hi, everyone. I'm Rebecca Nadelka, your Realtor Mom, and today we're back to talk to Khushi Patel, who is a newer agent, and she is with EXP. So, Khushi, why don't you start and tell us a little bit about yourself and when you got into real estate?
Hi, I'm Khushi. I'm 22 years old and I started real estate actually in college by managing a few properties. And then I decided to get my license once I graduated, and that's how I got to where I am now.
So, how long have you been licensed?
Almost a year in January.
Awesome. So I had the benefit of meeting Khushi because she joined EXP and was assigned a mentor who is an agent that I work with, Melissa. Melissa is Khushi's mentor, which EXP always provides new agents a mentor. So that's how I met Khushi. And so you said you started real estate actually back in college as a property manager. Was there a moment that you thought, oh, maybe I should get my license? And what made you kind of think that that was something you wanted to do?
I was already dealing with a lot of tenants, and at the time I kind of wanted to move away from managing tenants, and I figured if I'm able to do this, I'd be able to deal with clients on a bigger scale.
Right.
So that's kind of what motivated me to get my license.
Tenants are a bit different.
Yeah.
So rentals are a part of real estate, and definitely property management gets you kind of the feeling for what real estate can be like. However, with EXP, we don't do property management. We can put people into rentals, but we don't manage those properties. So you definitely picked right to get away from that. But how do you feel about your decision at this point?
I like it a lot better.
Like it?
I like it a lot better.
So I'm assuming, I know when I started, there's a lot. You went to school, they taught you how to write contracts, they taught you how to find clients and all of that stuff, right?
Actually, they didn't really help you write contracts or find clients.
No.
They taught you all of the back end stuff, like the
Right.
laws and making sure you're not getting yourself in any legal trouble. But
Yeah.
everything I've learned, I would say, is from Melissa and Becky. So
Gotcha. Yeah, it's been one of the things that I personally love about EXP is that the training that they're able to provide us as mentors to provide new agents is super helpful. I know it's pretty overwhelming as a new agent. Is there anything that's like you've come across that's been like a big surprise as far as like within real estate that you weren't expecting, or like things like that?
I think just how quiet it is in the beginning. I think a lot of people expect that once you become an agent, you'll just immediately have so much business, which I have. I'm fortunate to have a lot of clients, but I don't think they'll transact anytime soon. So I think it's just hard, like being patient and waiting, like for people to answer, waiting for things to move along.
Right, for sure. I definitely think a lot of people come into it thinking, I'm going to get paid right away. And the reality is that's not true. It is a lot of hard work. And you've been one of those agents, in my opinion, that has been super successful. And I think a lot of it is you know how to follow up, because that's really what it is. Understanding, like you said, they're not going to transact anytime soon, but staying in front of them, keeping in contact, and those things will help you build that business down the road. So your pipeline doesn't ever really dry up. Did you think it was going to be easy? Did you think it was going to be hard? Like, is it easier or harder than you thought it would be?
I definitely think it's harder than what I thought it would be. I think a lot of people, and even people, or like people I know that are trying to become agents now, they think real estate's so glamorous. And that's what I thought too. I mean, everyone sees those TV shows and they
Right.
think it's going to be like you're just going on $1 million showings. But I think it's a lot harder than you expect, especially having conversations with clients and like managing their expectations as well as your own at the same time. So I think it's definitely harder than what I thought
Right.
it would be.
What if there was something that you feel is one of the most important things as a new agent? What do you think is one of the key things as a new agent to keep in mind and to really, you said patience, but like as far as the transactions and building your business, what's one of the things that you think is most important to remember as a new agent?
I think it's important to remember that, like, while everything's so new, you should also keep in mind that you're trying to do what's best for your clients. So, not to let anything else get in the way of that. Being honest with them, and communication is definitely very important in real estate.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think when I rant about things, it's usually somewhere along the line that other agents aren't communicating. And lately, I've been fortunate enough, I feel like, to work with agents that are better at communicating and making sure that I communicate enough. And not just communication. Do you always text? Do you email? Do you call? Like, how do you go about communicating with your clients?
I think initially sometimes clients will reach out via email or text, and then I will always try to follow up with a call or something. I remember you telling me that you've won over many clients just by giving them a call.
Yep.
So I've been trying to implement that a lot.
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of agents are getting away from picking up the phone. And I have literally won offers because I've put forth that effort to call the listing agent if I'm writing an offer, and just they're going to know that I'm going to communicate. Whereas sometimes you go under contract and you have no idea where you are in the deal because you don't know if the appraisal's been ordered. You don't know anything about the inspection. You don't know where the loan is. And the lack of communication is one of agents' biggest frustrations. So if you show right from the beginning that you're always going to communicate, that's probably why you're successful, is because you do communicate. So you've closed some transactions, and I know they're not all super easy, but I know closing your first one's super exciting. Has there been something that you felt was like a moment where you're like, this is rewarding? Like, what's an experience that you've had where you're like, this is why I got into real estate? Like, I love this.
Actually, my first closing was for a family that I used to babysit for. And I think seeing their family come together in a new home and being able to build together was very rewarding, because I always wanted a job where my efforts, I could see them directly impacted versus like doing things behind the scenes. So I think real estate gives me that power to be able to help people directly.
I love that. That is exactly like one of those things. I almost feel like handing somebody their keys, their first time home buyers, whatever the situation might be, to see how excited they are. And there is a lot of reward to that. So that's awesome. It's super cool that you pulled from your sphere of influence.
Yeah. And the kids were so happy, and it was just so
and they were
rewarding
kids you
to
babysat.
see. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Awesome. So building on that, after that first transaction, how did you go about getting your next transaction? Like, where are you? What are some things that you're doing that are helping you build your database and building your network so you have more deals coming forward?
So I actually started posting on social media shortly after my first deal, and my second deal actually came from Facebook. I had posted in a Facebook group downtown Cleveland, and this family that was moving from Indiana reached out to me saying they saw my Facebook post, and they were actually working with another agent that their company had assigned to them, and they told their company that they wanted to work with me.
That's amazing.
So
that is amazing. Especially, I mean, obviously you're a little bit younger than me, but you're definitely more social media present than I ever was. And a lot of it is being younger. You've already got that skill set. So building on social media, they say it is, when you talk to people, they will tell you that that's a great way to get leads. And most agents that have been in the business for any period of time feel like, oh, that lead just sucks. Or we were in a training together and that was the one thing they said, oh, Facebook leads suck. But for you, you're learning how to build right out of the gate those Facebook leads and turn them into clients. And again, it's not a short-term process. Like, it takes time.
Yeah.
But how was the experience different from the family that you knew versus your Facebook lead?
I think it was a little hard initially just because I hadn't built that trust with them and they found me online basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like you're trusting a stranger with one of the biggest transactions of your life. But I think once I met them and even while I was communicating with them on the phone, anything that they needed, I was sure to like make sure whatever they needed, I was able to answer their questions. Or if I didn't know, I asked you guys and got back to them in a timely manner, which I think helped them build trust. And then like I said, they were moving from a different state, so they also needed kind of other resources, which I was able to help out with and did a little research for them since it is a lot to move with your entire family to a new state and moving jobs. So
Right, right. So building that confidence is starts with building the trust with them. And that's probably, like you said, somebody that you know that you pull from your database. You already have that trust. So if you could decide to work only with Facebook leads, how do you, not that you're going to only work with Facebook leads, but if you continue to work with Facebook leads, I should say, what did you do? What are some of the key things that you did to build that trust? Can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
how I built trust with Facebook leads.
Yeah.
I would say the main thing is getting to know what they want in an agent, as well as being able to provide them with any resources that maybe somebody else that they might be interested in working with. Not that they can't, but maybe they are busier or don't have the time. Since I am a newer agent, I was able to help them a lot more, I think. And if they had questions, they would call me at any time of the day. Like, I think just being able to be there for them when they need you, as much as like being a real estate agent, you are only supposed to be helping them with one part of like the transaction. But I think I did, being able to help them with numerous things that they were worried about moving to a different state, help build that trust.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Because trust is not something that's easy to build with a stranger. And I know through that transaction, we talked several times. And I will say, from what I remember, it was not a super easy transaction.
Yeah.
So I give you a lot of credit. And a lot of people, I think, for buyers and sellers, there's a lot of hesitation for buyers and sellers to work with a new agent because they often think, well, she's not going to know what she's doing. But one thing, like, obviously, I'm not a brand new agent anymore. I was there once. And the crazy thing is, new agents, if they're really in the industry for a good reason, they want to be here, they're going to learn and put the time in. I think EXP gives that ability to give you the resources to have a mentor, to have support in place so you can get back to them. And being available is a big thing. Your schedule might be less full than a seasoned agent. Now, seasoned agents, not that obviously they know what they're doing as well, but I don't think there was any point in that transaction that your buyers felt like you didn't know what you were doing. Like, you handled that transaction. I remember the conversations, and I know that you handled that transaction really well, and you built the trust quickly. And that's, from my seat, very impressive. And I know, like I said, buyers and sellers, they hesitate sometimes, but we all started somewhere. Right. And there's growth. And as long as you're willing and you show that you're willing to do that work for them, you can build that trust a lot quicker. And I'm telling you, you were a saint in that transaction, because both Melissa and I thought you handled it really, really well. And we both said, I don't know if I would have stuck this one out. It was tough. I mean, at the end of the day, we say that a lot, but we often stick them out. I've only walked away from a couple in my time, but he probably had the thought of walking away once or twice.
It was a very hard transaction, but I think to help build trust, I also kept reminding them that I do have, while I'm not a part of a team, I do have two very helpful and knowledgeable people that will help me through anything that I don't know. So I think that also helped build trust, because you and Melissa have been in the industry for a very long time.
Yeah. And so obviously your comfort level is with me and Melissa, but one thing that I can say with EXP as a whole, because yes, I'm going to give EXP that plug, is EXP has lots of agents that would really be willing to help. Like, I know that you could have called another agent that's in our network and they'd help you. Like the support that we get as EXP is tremendous, but having a mentor assigned to you is probably one of the biggest things that you're offered as a new agent with the company.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to call or text my mentor anytime I need something, and knowing that she'll be there for me and be there for me and answer any questions that I have.
Right. So, with that, obviously, that kind of leads us into the learning and the support that you get. What is being part of the team? What's one thing that's helped you learn or what it's taught you as far as being a new agent?
I think what being a part of a team has taught me is that you should never feel afraid to ask questions. Not everyone starts off knowing things, and not just new agents, but I think seasoned agents also sometimes don't know everything, which is nice to see in a way
Hmm.
because it helps you see that you don't need to know everything to be able
Right.
to help your clients. And it helped me feel less nervous, and also just having the support of where, like, whenever you need something or you've never dealt with a client in a way, which, like you said, my second client was very tough towards the end, especially just navigating the deal. But having the support made me feel like I was able to push through the deal and complete it and get my clients what they needed at the end of the day.
Right. That's awesome. So, if there was one thing you wish someone would have told you before you started, what might that be? Like something that you maybe didn't know that you wish you knew?
I think, kind of going along to what I said in the beginning, just having more patience. I've never really had a lot of patience. So I think going through real estate definitely taught me a lot of real estate, or it taught me a lot of patience, which I wish I knew from the beginning because, like I said, I've just never.
Gotcha.
um,
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I've
but
definitely learned some patience. I probably lost my patience a couple times, if I'm being honest. Like, we're human, things get kind of crazy at times. And I think what you had said about being a seasoned agent, there are still things that I learn every day. Like, I think that's one thing about being a good agent. And you and I showed up to the same training that she told me about because learning is one of the things that the minute you stop learning, the minute you stop growing,
right.
and all agents, there's every transaction's different in
Right.
some way. There's no two transactions that are identical. Whether you're type of loan that you're dealing with, like learning what an FHA buyer needs versus a VA buyer versus a conventional buyer versus an investment client. So there's so much, and different agents might be stronger in certain areas, but at the end of the day, I could tell you I've worked with 500 first time home buyers, and I get a new one and there's something different in the transaction. And it's okay to not know everything because the resources are there for you to get the answers. And I think that's one thing that I hope you've experienced is even if, like, I know you reached out to me, gosh, a couple weeks ago and asked me about a commercial deal. I've never closed a commercial deal. And I know how to do certain parts of it. And, sometimes Google's my best friend, but the situation that you were in was very unique. And I felt terrible, but I had to say, I'm not really sure. I really do think you need to reach out to the brokers or a commercial agent. And I can connect you with a commercial agent, but I'm not the person that's going to give you those answers. And that's okay. I want to guide you to someone else who can. So I think that's one thing that's pretty cool about being in a company as large as EXP. Obviously, we know
Mhm.
largest brokerage in the world, like
Yeah,
agent wise, countries, expands across so many countries. Have you done anything internationally yet?
I haven't.
Because I feel like that could be a big possibility for you with your connections to India and all of
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah, that's actually a great idea. Yeah.
tap into those.
Marketing.
We need to get you to one of the big events, EXP
EXP Con.
Con. I've been
I know you
trying.
went to Miami. I wanted to go to that, but that looked
Yeah.
like the one other thing I do like about EXP is all the resources they provide. It's like you said, you're always learning as a real estate agent, which is kind of nice because I kind of like that you are always growing in your career versus just
Mhm.
staying stagnant,
Yep.
which is nice.
Absolutely. And that is, I think a lot of people, and I know I bring up EXP a lot because I feel like EXP for new agents, they get scared because it's not your traditional brokerage where you've got offices with a broker in the office. The way it's set up allows for new agents to have their hands on more training. The traditional brokerage having offices with a broker in the office, new agents feel like they need that. But what they don't realize is that although EXP is a cloud brokerage, we have those resources. We have the brokers available to us. I can go onto my computer and be talking like on the phone, FaceTime, whatever, in our EXP world because they're able to be there for us all day. And so I find that being in the EXP space, I have quicker access to the brokerage, and that then leads to more training. EXP overall is all about collaboration over competition, and I think that's what I love. So as a new agent, you have thousands of agents that are willing to help teach you and train you, and the resources that are available in the EXP world are just at your fingertips all the time. And then you are assigned a mentor. So someone that you can walk around, you can come shadow me and seeing houses. You can, come into the office and we can sit down and write a contract. That doesn't change just because it's a cloud brokerage. So I do think that, like you said, the training is there. And I started at not EXP and I almost quit because I didn't have the training in the office that I was sitting in. So I think that's one of the things that agents really should explore more when they're like, oh, well, I just need an office. I need a traditional brokerage with an office. Cloud-based brokerages gave you a lot more training, and all brokerages have their EXPCon and things like that. But what's super cool is this upcoming year, ours is going to be like in different places all over the world, which is super cool. And I'm contemplating honestly going to South Africa because that would be amazing. So I love that you feeling like the team, and you have one mentor assigned, but I partner with agents just as Melissa that we're able to help each other's mentees. So it certainly helps us build up agents, and it's a team. It's not a team, but you feel like you have a team and you're keeping your commission.
Yeah. I also think with, like you said, how a lot of agents get worried about how EXP has a cloud brokerage versus an in-person office type setting for brokers. I can't understand how agents feel nervous about that, because when I was first looking into what brokerage to join, a lot of people told me to join like the more known. And
you
like
can say them.
Okay. Like Howard Hanna and Keller Williams. And while I did an interview with them, I think what I loved most about EXP Realty is not only that they are cloud-based, so you do have access to them almost 24/7. I don't think just all day. I think you're able to get anything or any resources you need all day, which is very nice. But also, I think what I love most about it is that they help you set up your business independently from the beginning versus a lot of brokerages. You're kind of affiliated with their team, and it's kind of hard to break away from that and navigate doing real estate on your own, which is amazing for EXP, because if you're looking to have your own business one day, you're kind of setting yourself up right from the beginning.
Right. And they give you that freedom with choosing your brand colors. Yes. And EXP made a change. It used to be, when I started, it was the blue with like the orange tip, and now it's black. And I think they went to that so we can all have our own brand colors and fit the logo in nicely. So I think EXP is so amazing towards their agents and helping them, like you said, grow from the beginning and set themselves up. If they want to be on a team, great. There are team resources for sure. But you can also be incredibly successful as a solo agent. I'm a solo agent, and I mean, my business has gone to levels that I never thought would happen. And especially when I started 5 years ago, I'm thinking I'm going to have to quit real estate because this just isn't working. I wasn't closing deals. I felt like I didn't really know what I was doing. When I moved over to EXP, and I've told the story when I was a guest on other podcasts, when I moved over, I went over in March of 2022, and by May, I quit my full-time job. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Never in a million years would that have happened if I was still with the other brokerage. So people ask why, and I truly wholeheartedly believe it was the tools that EXP gave me to succeed. And that's what I'm excited to see for you, because you're young, you are doing all the right things, and you have the willingness to learn and keep growing, and you're already in the social media footprint of gaining business that way, and that's huge. So
Thank you.
I love that for you. I want to try to, I know you haven't done tons of transactions, but we all in real estate have like, oh my God, moments where something crazy, funny, unbelievable happens. Do you have any of those moments that like something that you just didn't expect that was maybe funny? Like, I know I've got stories that I can look back on now and laugh like, oh my God, I cannot believe that happened. Anything like that that you can think of that maybe if something awkward, like your tough clients, is there something?
I don't think anything maybe super funny has happened to me, but I do think that maybe dealing with the clients that I have had, while they have all been great, I think what I've learned is that real estate definitely humbles you. So you can either laugh it off or like overthink what you're doing at all
Right,
times,
right.
which was hard to learn because I feel like I hate to say it, but naturally I was just always like, if I wasn't good at something naturally, I just gave it up. So I think real estate taught me that I need to keep pushing, and it might not be easy in the beginning, but I will get to where I want to be.
You will, for sure. So I think in this, what you're telling me is maybe I need to help set you up to be in the position to have some of those funny or awkward things happen to you.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I've got some stories, and I feel like every agent needs to experience that, like, what moment. So I got you there. I got some crazy properties that I could probably send you to, and I'll be like, this might be a Khushi one, so she can have a story the next time I ask her.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, so I want to kind of look towards what the future you think might look like. Like, what is your goals as a new agent? You're coming up on your first year. What kind of goals did you maybe set from the beginning? Are you close to meeting them? Did you meet them? I mean, I think one thing in real estate that we always learn is you have to adjust your goals.
Yeah.
And it's okay to adjust your goals. So what do you think your goals, well, first, what kind of goals are you going to meet them? Like, have you adjusted them? Like, how do you feel you did overall for your first year with your goal setting and hitting them? And
I think I was a little worried the last couple of months, thinking I wasn't doing enough. But as I've been talking to more and more agents, they've been saying I've been doing so good. But then I also looked back on the goals I did have for this year, and one of my biggest goals was to potentially try to sell $1 million worth of homes, and I actually did do that.
yay, that's a huge win. That's a great goal.
So that was really rewarding to see. I didn't even think about it when I closed my last deal, but when I was kind of like down on myself, I was looking back, and it just made me feel a lot better about where I am in real estate. So I think for my goals next year, I just want to become more confident and consistent and being able to help my clients in the best way I can. I wouldn't say I have big like monetary goals, but I do want to be able to help as many clients as I can.
Perfect. So I think that's one thing that it's important for agents to kind of like realize is your goals are your goals, and it doesn't have to be monetary. It could be like, for me, every year, like my first year with EXP, I was just like, I want to sell more houses than I did in 18 months. And I mean, that happened super fast. So like I capped within a few months with EXP, which I almost had a heart attack, I think, because never in a million years did I think I was going to cap. So then obviously my goal is to cap again, and then to hit icon, and then my goals shift to hit those things sooner. So I have more money in my pocket, and more money in my pocket, more. So part of my goals are financial, but also the number of people that I can help. I have goals to help a certain number of people. And I think that's the different part of monetary, because for me, it doesn't matter if it's $100,000 home or a $500,000 home or $1 million home. It's still the number of people that I can help. And some of my most rewarding transactions, honestly, are some of the lower dollar ones because, you meet a client and you just see how excited and grateful they are to buy their first house. And it just gives me goosebumps sometimes. And they invite you over because I just yesterday, last night, one of my investor clients that I've worked with several times invited me over for a Christmas party at his house. And I'm like, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's the real reward in real estate, is those relationships that you're building. So I love that your goals, some agents that sell tons might be like $1 million. That's amazing for your first year. And the fact that that was a goal you set, it was realistic and you hit it, that's what's important. And I think that's one of the things that makes me love working with new agents, is because they have realistic goals that are achievable if they do the things and you do the things. And, as far as your goals going forward, if you build on them every year, and I think the most important thing to remember is it's okay if you don't hit them, if you're doing everything you can to try. And you came into a really wonky year, if I'm being honest. I mean, it's kind of like what I did. I came in during the COVID time and it was insane. But now the market has slowed a little bit and you're still succeeding. So that's huge for you as a new agent. I love that.
Thank you.
So in a year, if we were to look forward to your end of your second year of real estate, is there something that you're looking to achieve personally, professionally? Do you have something that you want to put out there so we can watch you grow and hit those goals?
I hope to cap next year. I didn't cap this year, but I
That's
hope
okay.
I do.
Year one, that's
I hope I do next year and fairly quickly. But I also hope that I'm able to help at least 10 clients next year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I really do think, especially as you dive into social media and you really convert those leads and get the right things, we've gained some knowledge about some new tools and things like that, and the industry's changing.
Yeah.
And I know AI is a big part of it, but do you personally think AI will replace a realtor?
I don't think AI will replace a realtor, just because I think a lot of people still value face-to-face connections, especially with everything being online these days. We have a cloud brokerage, everything could be online, but I think being able to connect with someone on a deeper level, especially when you're dealing with one of the biggest transactions of your life, you may not want to be talking to a robot
Right.
about everything. While I do think AI is very helpful and very resourceful, I do think that's a lot of people will still want that in-person connection.
Right. Yeah, there's some things I agree with you there. AI has definitely been beneficial for our business as a whole. Helps us provide things faster. But I agree with you. When you're buying a house, you're spending some money, you're setting yourself up to have that asset, the face-to-face, and someone to be hands-on looking at the houses that we're looking at, or giving you, as a seller, the visual, seeing what's in front of us to set a price, and using the tools that we have. Yeah, AI is part of our toolbox, but being able to actually go in and see those things, you can't replace that. So
I also don't think that AI sometimes, while I do think AI is advancing, it's still fairly new. So a lot of people still don't trust it, which is why I think realtors will still be fairly common for people to still work with.
Sure. And we have an amazing new realtor that I have certainly had such a good time learning who Khushi is and watching her grow in her first year. Although, like I said, she's not my personal mentee. I've gotten to work with her and I've loved it, and I've loved watching you grow. And I love that you're here on the podcast with me as a successful agent who's met her goals. I think that's phenomenal. So I love to be part of your journey, and obviously I appreciate you being here. Do you have anything that you'd like to say to kind of wrap it up? Your thoughts?
I just want to say thank you for always helping me, and
Awesome.
I love to have you on my journey, and I love that you have been helping me helping me as far as my real estate journey has been going, and I think that you and Melissa have been a great big part of it.
Thank you. I do. I love it. So if you are thinking about getting into real estate, know that it's possible. Know that you can definitely grow if you're willing to do the work. It's not super easy. Khushi is a great example, and I very much appreciate her being here. So, as always, if you are in the market to buy or sell, I'm your realtor mom, Rebecca Nadelka with eXp Realty.